Hi, thanks for checking out our channel here. This is going to be just a little show and tell video, I guess you want to call it. That 3 units stacked up here, I worked on all 3 of them. All 3 of them are about 40 years old, and all 3 of them are going again. These are, I'll show one at a time. There's an old, hold on, they block up the guy's phone number. I don't need you morons out there that like to call people that shouldn't call, so I'm going to cover the guy's name and phone number. But the first one I got here is an old Gallagher BEV3. This is a 83, 84 when it first launched this BEV3 model to about 89. And then in 1990, Snell went away as the main distributor for Gallagher in the States, and then Gallagher just did it themselves versus having Snell as a distributor. And the Gallagher renamed all their models here in the States to M800, M400, whatever. Put all the M numbers and B numbers to their stuff and changed the sticker to the M800. So the M800, that the orange version, that it's the same unit as this one, just, you know, different badge on it. But this thing's in really good shape. We had to do a bit of work to it. Had to fix up the main board. We put a new fuse holder in there because the top one, I think it was stripped out, wasn't hold in there. And then we fixed the main board. I think we put a new capacitor in there as well. But it works really, really well now. Let me power it up here. Clicking right along. And we're getting about 8,000 volts out of it. But yeah, this is, you know, low impedance units. You know, some people are like, oh, I like them low impedance, yeah, all that new stuff, low impedance. This thing's 40 years old, and it's low impedance. Low impedance is nothing new. You know, I think Gallagher kind of came to the table to the United States back in the early mid 70s with low impedance technology back then, you know, 50 years ago. But they'd been in Europe and Australia and other parts of the world before they came to the States. So probably back in the 60s, you know. So low impedance is nothing new to the market for electric fence chargers. It was new to the United States in the 70s, but now it's everywhere. All right, next one is an oldie but a goodie. It's had a piece of tape across here, and the tape all came off. But this is Gallagher. It's hard to see it, but it's an MPE2. See, there's a sticker down there. It's built on it's a smaller powered unit. It's only about a 2 joule unit at most. That one over there, output joule wise, about 4.5, 5, somewhere in that range. But this is about 2.5 output, maybe probably 1.5 to 2 joule unit. So not very stout, but for what it's designed to do, it does a good job. And they made an MPE, which is a big oblong unit. Probably it looked nothing like this. The case was probably twice as tall. It shared a case with a bunch of other models from back in the 70s. That was called the MPE. The MPE2 and the MPE share the same main circuit board. Everything else is completely different. Just different layout, different parts, everything. But this unit works as well. We did fix the main board and a new capacitor, and the thing took right off. So most of it was just due to it being, you know, 40 years old. But they only made the MPE2 from like 82, 83 to like 89. It had like a 5, 6, 7 year run. But the variation of this model before it was in the 70s. So it probably will be all together to an MPE and MPE2 had like a 10, 12 year run. At least here in the States anyways it did. I don't know where else it was done at. But this is 110, 120 volt. I'm sure they made a 220, 240 volt overseas. Not a very, like, voltage wise, not very high, about 5, about what you get out of these things. And that's all they ever did. They were one of the lower voltage units that Gallagher produced, you know, but they were very reliable. The shock on a fence, on the electric fence, voltage is nice, but you know, you got to have the joules behind it to smack an animal to get their attention. So as long as you got about 4.5 to 5 kV or higher on the line. Whatever joule rated the unit is, the joules will always be there as long as you're about 4 to 4.5 kV minimum or higher. The joules will always be there for you. You know, the high, say the peak voltage was 8 kV, just as an average number. That just means it's not under a lot of stress. So it's not really actually doing any work. It's just sitting there humming along. But you start loading down with some grass or whatever, start getting them from 8 down to 6, from 3, 5, 7, whatever. This is doing more work, but it's not really hurting the thing. So, but that unit's working fine. Last but not least is this old Stafix unit called SM8000. This is the 80s model as well. This was back when Stafix was its own brand before it got acquired. I believe before it got acquired by Speedrite, which then got acquired by True Test, who owned both of brands. So this was still at its own. Stafix as a brand was, I think, before Speedrite acquired them. This unit is a 110 volt plug on it, but there's an input transformer here that converts it to a 220/240 volt to run the rest of the unit, because back then they didn't have a way to make 110 volt models for the United States market or North American market. So the workaround was install to keep their whatever models they were currently making overseas in Europe and Australia, New Zealand, everywhere. Well, let's just get we'll have some kind of little transformer in there to convert United States, North America's power from 110 to 240 to run the rest of our unit. And Gallagher did that back in the 70s and early 80s as well. Actually, the BEV3, the earlier versions of the BEV2 and the BEV models, they were same concept, 110 volt plug with a 220/240 volt transformer that would convert our power to their power internally, so it would run the rest of the unit. Later versions they got rid of that and they figured everything out to run things here. But oops, let me plug it into a different outlet. That one's kind of, I need to replace that outlet. We had to do a bit of work to this one. Didn't need a lot of work, but needed some. It's a pretty quiet model because the transformer that was in there was bad. Let me see if I can find it. So this was the transformer that was in it, and it had these stack of plates. Yeah, here it is. It had these stack of plates that it sat on or slid over. Get them in there. Oh, there it goes. These are called lamination plates, E's and I's, what they call them. They're not magnets. People, oh, I got those magnets are all rusty. They're not magnets. These are not magnetized. They're just metal plates, because there's a core to the transformer. You know, these make up the core, and that's what induces the voltage on a transformer from the primary to secondary. It has to use the magnetic field of the winding. It has to be able to transfer over, and this metal plates is what gets that power from the primary to secondary through the magic of magnetism. You know, electromagnetism. So, and with these plates on there, the clicking sound you hear on a fence box comes from the transformer. That's what makes that tick, tick, tick noise on every model going back to the 60s and 70s when they had clicking solid state units. That clicking noise on any fence box from the last 50, 60 years to today, the clicking noise on a fence charger is the transformer. You know, the people, oh, I thought there was a relay in there clicking along. No relays. There's a main board, capacitor, transformer. That's the main three parts. There's sometimes multiple capacitors, sometimes there's a secondary board on the output. That crap doesn't matter. When the board gets the charge built up coming into it, it boosts it to, 400, 600, 700 volt DC that goes onto the capacitor, and then that board has all the triggering timing mechanisms. There's a big SCR on there, and that SCR gets triggered by some other parts on the board through the timing circuit. And the SCR is what fires that capacitor, and all the energy, all the voltage and amperage built up on the capacitor gets dumped into the transformer. And when it passes from here, from the primary to secondary, as it passes along, that's when the click happens. Click, click, click. but all the timing and discharging, cycling stuff happens on the board, and it dumps the power of the capacitor into here. But when it fires across, that click noise is when it clicks across from primary to secondary. That's a clicking noise. And with this transformer having those metal plates on there, the sound is able to radiate out of this thing through these plates, and it's loud. It's a loud thumping, clicking sound. And so it's a lot quieter now because the transformer we put in there it has metal plates in it, but it's fully enclosed in a big block of epoxy, kind of like this. Kind of like this transformer. This is a Power Wizard transformer for one of their, I don't know, 6 joule to 18 joule units. This transformer has the same, it's a big old coil. This big bobbin here is inside of this. And you have metal plates in there because it does have some weight to it. It's some metal plates that wrap around it like this thing does. When they set that down this little black shell, they fill it full of epoxy to seal it all up, to keep it all nice and tight, so things can't really, hopefully not break loose. And it muffles the sound. So if this epoxy went in there, it'd be a thump, thump. It'd be a lot louder of a unit. But then all this epoxy in there, that muffles the noise that this transformer can produce. It doesn't mean it's weaker. It's just quieter. It's like having sound deadening material in a car to listen to the sound of your engine or exhaust, pipes or whatever, this stuff like that. So it doesn't mean you have less horsepower, it just means it's a quieter running unit. So let's put our tester across here. We're in about 6,000 volts out of it. Plenty voltage. So, but yeah, we had retrofit a different transformer in here. We had to fix up some wiring on the 220 volt, 110 volt converter transformer, and hardwire and solder some stuff in. The capacitors were fine. We load tested the thing and read fine. So the capacitors, I don't think this thing has been used in a while. I think it's been broke down for quite some time. So, but this is a really good. This is back in the good old days. Same with the old speed rise from the 80s and the 90s, and the old Gallaghers from the 80s to the 2000s. Those were all that stuff from back then was just really, really well made. Overbuilt parts, just ran forever, no issues. Just like old cars, old trucks from the 90s. They just overbuilt. Weren't the most robust stuff, and they weren't the most efficient stuff, but they just ran and ran and ran and ran. So that's how old fence boxes were. So. But thanks for checking us out. There's a link description below to our website, fencerfixer.com. But yeah, I just wanted to show a little deal. I got to hand these off to the guy hopefully tomorrow. He's coming back through town. He's not super far away, but they have a deal tomorrow. They'll be close by. I'll swing by and pick these up. So, but thanks for checking us out. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe. And until next time, see you guys later on.